Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are having a very wonderful day today. So today we will be talking about the Ashitaka. Now I gotten this ship recently from a super container, and I must say that I really like this ship. Now this ship is actually, if you have played long enough in World of Warships, this is essentially the Amagi A hull. Back in the day, Amagi has three hulls: A, B, and C, and the current Amagi only have the B and C hull, while the A hull is actually this, the Ashitaka. Now, similar to Mutsu, which is the A hull of the Nagato, being down tier to tier 6 and become a premium. Now, the Mutsu have torpedoes, if I remember correctly, but the Ashitaka doesn't have. Now, the Ashitaka do have is 5, where it is 5 times 2 410mm guns. So this is the largest salvo weight, or the largest number of 16-inch guns in tier 7, if I remember correctly. Most are 8 or 9 16-inch guns, or even 15-inch guns. So it's this amount of salvo weight is honestly strong. Is very very strong in tier 7. So you have very very high firepower. You can overmatch 25 and 27mm armor. That means that if you have faced, let's say, a New Orleans, which is an heavy cruiser with 25. Let's say you fight like a Hipper or something. Let's see, tier 8 heavy cruiser here. I would assume that this is 27. Yes. If you fight like higher tier cruisers, you can overmatch this. All of this. While let's say a Hood, Gneisenau, those 381mm guns will not be able to overmatch this. So just imagine that you have 10 overmatching guns at tier 7. So that is such a powerful firepower. Now the secondary batteries is a bit of jokes. You don't want to spec anything on secondaries. And yeah, the hit points is actually lower than the Nagato. If I remember correctly, the Nagato is 65,000, but you only have 59,000. Now you don't have the Amagi's got their torpedo protection at 43%. You only get 25%. So torpedoes will hurt in this thing. Now also, if I remember correctly as well, since this is type 0, well, let's see what is Amagi's type 1. Oh, it's still type 0. Okay, so it seems that, sorry, type 91. And what is Amagi? The AP shell is type 91 as well. So actually, it seems that the shell is similar. Back in the day, Amagi A hull has worse shells, like older shells. So I could be wrong on this, that nowadays the shells are the same, but this ship, Ashitaka, has the same sigma and accuracy as the Amagi. You don't have the fifth upgrade slot that the Amagi have. That means that your concealment is horrendous at 15.1, and this is already with concealment expert. So yeah, you will be spotted from the moon. Now, for what do you trade off in to get this firepower? The first thing, I guess, is obviously the torpedo protection. You are very weaker than the Amagi. You also have a bad AA defense. Essentially, only like 65 continuous damage in long range. Sorry, the short range, which is basically worthless, and long range, which is only 18 continuous damage. And you have how many flags? One flag. Okay, so you see how shit the AA is. Even tier 6 planes, you cannot shut down them. You cannot shut down a tier 6 plane. So yeah, it's garbage. Okay, the depth charge is I would say standard, but But I actually prefer maybe like in these lower tier battleships. I want to build for ASW because just the amount of tier 6 submarines is almost every other game you will go to submarine. So I think that it will be a good investment, maybe like something like this, where it increases the damage. And yeah, it also the A is not really that useful actually, or maybe get this one maybe, but to get more reload time on your ASWs. But you know what? Since I put this captain on the Musashi as well, so I just use the standard Musashi captain. Now I don't use this one to get the more extra heal, but I use brisk, and that is also one of the good things of the ship. You have 30 knots, which means that if you with brisk, it's 33 knots. That is quite fast, and actually it's not quite fast. It is fast. It is comparable to Gneisenau, if I remember correctly. So yeah, it's a really strong tier 7. Now for the armor, it's standard tier 7. You have 26mm everywhere except the casemate or except the broadside. That means that everything can overmatch this, even except for maybe like 356mm guns in tier 7, like Floridas and Hugas. What else? Leon has 340. You know, those kinds of ships. But Nagatos, Colorados, or West Virginias. What else? Warspite, Rook, Renown. Everyone that have 15 to 16-inch guns will be able to overmatch you, whatever angle it is. So your sustainability is not really that great. Your armor, in my opinion, and also you don't have spore plane like the Amagi has. So that means that your range is stuck at 19 kilometers, which is actually already quite good because you have the same range as the Amagi. Now for the repair party, it's standard Japanese, which means that it only runs for 10 seconds with a cooldown of 77. I run some sort of captain build maybe. Yeah, the minus 3%. That's why it's 77.6. I would assume that originally it's 80 maybe, right? It 80 seconds. So it's Japanese fire control, which is kind of shit, right? It's only 10 seconds, so you need to make sure that you wait for the enemy salvos before you use the damage control party to not get permanent fire. And also the repair party standard repair party, it is you get 4 heals, but if you run the captain skills, this one you will get 5. I only run 4 heals, and honestly, in my games I haven't really used all of them that constantly, because either I get very not damage, I will still be very healthy, or everybody just pans me, which makes me the healable HP less, right? So yeah. And what else should I talk about of this ship? The maneuverability, turning circle. The rudder ship is a bit bad. Okay, for 15 seconds, but I think that it's still okay. It's still acceptable. For my build, I have this one, the accuracy, and the minus a fire extinguishing time. Because of Japanese battleship, man, you need to have some fire prevention or fire mitigation, because otherwise you will be killed quite literally. Now I have this one, my captain build. It's very standard actually. I use this on my Musashi. The reason why I run brisk is just because I like that, fast battleship flanking, or reposition. If you don't like brisk or fire target, you can drop this too and get more heal. So that's the standard build, I guess. The standard battleship build where you have this, heal, concealment, and fire prevention. So yeah. Anyways, on to the game. So, in this game, I will be playing the Ashitaka against tier 5s, tier 6, and tier 7. So we are top tier. This is really good matchmaking for us. You see there, that the enemy has quite squishy battleship. Nagato's very squishy, West Virginia's very squishy, Fuso is a bit tough, while Ismail is also tough. So even though we have like 410 millimeter guns, the 16-inch guns, we still struggle sometimes against, those casemate battleships, just because they have a huge amount of armor, while compared to us, which is a barrel cruiser, we have very weak armor. Now you can see here, the if we look at the brisk icon here, we have the brisk, which increase the ship speed to 10%, which means that, you know what, we have 33 knots. Now ignore this one. This is the bug in the replay. You can see there the rudder is at left max, but I'm not left maxing my rudder. So yeah, it's a bug on replays. Yeah, let's skip to the action, I guess. So a bit of a fast forward. Here we have a Nagato, so I decided to sequential fire, try to, as accurate as possible. This ship, even though it has good accuracy, the same accuracy as Amagi, it still suffers from Japanese, I would say, vertical dispersion. So it makes it very inconsistent at hitting, some shells, but their grouping is actually quite tight. Okay, because their sigma is still good. So this Nagato, I want to shoot the Ismail, but I thought that the Ismail will turn out, so that's the reason why I shoot this Nagato. And you can see there that the dispersion is actually not that bad, right? Most of the shells are in the center, and we managed to hit for 13,000 damage. You can see on my top right here, top left here, I download the mod to see what damage caused to ships. Now, it seems that this section is quite heavy with enemy presence, and this West Virginia 44 is doing broadside. Now, even though if this ship, West Virginia 44 isn't broadside, we could still chunk him for massive amount of damage, but we managed to deal 13,000 damage to his broadside. Even though our accuracy is actually all over the place, if you rewind the video, you can see that the accuracy is not that great. Okay. Now we have. Okay, so the next salvo will be, very bad dispersion as well, and we pop our first heal just to keep the heal cycling, just in case when I do need it, it is actually off cooldown. So I don't want to farm adrenaline rush that much, because this is not a super heal, right? We actually also get melted quickly with fires. Now, if you look at our team right now, it's not looking great. We lost 2 ships, but for some, I guess this is also a replay bug. By the way, before I talk about that, we managed to deal 16,000 damage to West Virginia. So that is the power when this ship managed to find its target, right? So back to what I'm saying, the points here are flipped. So this is actually the enemy's point. 455 is actually the enemy's point. I don't know why the replay is bugged like this, but you know what? We just have to make do with this, right? The Yudachi on our team managed to deal with the West Virginia, while our Genway is destroyed by the Ismail. Now I'm planning here in this moment to try and go back to the 8 to 9 line, just to protect and to seal off the enemy push, because I don't want to push these two, this Nagato and Bojoni, but rather I want to try to get crossfires on this enemy push there, like in the northeast side of the map. But this Bojoni is starting to move broadside, and we chunked him for, That's good. That's good, right? Our Miyoko finished it off, but we managed to deal 6,000 damage to him. So, not no citadels, sadly, but quite a good amount of damage, really, with our three back guns. Now, this Nagato is broadside to us while trying to run away from our Yudachi. Now, although it's not flat broadside, but Nagato has 26mm armor as well. So that means that if we don't hit that citadels, it's still fine, right? We still get massive amounts of pen as long as we hit the ship. But so you can see there 13,000 damage again with 3 pens with 1 overpen. So at this tier, at tier 7 battleship, you will get those chunky heads everywhere, right? So that is why playing tier 7 battleship is actually quite fun if you are in top tier. But obviously if you play against tier 9s, it will be quite hard. But since you actually have range at 19.9 kilometers, you wouldn't be as badly affected as the other tier 7. So the Akatsuki got spotted, and we try and wait for its smoke, and we shot them, getting 5 overpens with our Miyoko finishing off the Akatsuki. That is actually maybe the Akatsuki is quite surprised, right? He went from full HP to 0 HP in just like that, right? It's obviously funny. Now, our Heinrich there, our Prince Heinrich, is being harassed by the Flint, so I'm trying to blind shot here, but I think that the Flint position is not that where I blind shot because we don't hit any shells. Now obviously it could also happen from our bad dispersion, but I think from judging from his shells, it is not really the correct position. Now I'm trying to get away from this island just because I am quite afraid of the Nicholas rushing me. Now the Nicholas has short range torpedoes, so he won't be able to stealth rope me. But you know what, we just make sure, right? We don't want to to die from a tier 5 destroyer, right? Now since the Nicholas have smoke up and open up, we already know where the Nicholas is, which is in somewhere in the D9 area there in the smoke. That means that we are safe from his torpedoes. Here is the smoke, by the way. Yeah. Now our Yudachi is actually moving in to try and deal with this Nicholas, and we managed to spot this Asturias. And this is where you will find the dispersion not great. You can see there 2 penetration and 1 over penetration in a broadside cruiser at 13.5 kilometers. So it should have been a devastating strike. At least 1 citadel, right? But maybe I don't aim low enough, or maybe the vertical dispersion of Japanese battleship is messing with me. You don't know, right? Now since I don't really know where this Asturias is trying to go, so I try to space my shells and just spread it around, and we managed to deal 4 pens and 1 overpens, dealing massive damage to the Asturias. And yeah, it's sadly the Asturias have goes away now, and I need to deal with this Ismail and Flint. So with this might be my last salvo against the Asturias, or my last accurate salvo against him. So we fire our salvo normally without any messing about, and you see 3 overpens, right? The dispersion is honestly, it's like hit or miss, right? Maybe it's just my bad aim. Okay, that might be it, right? I played around too many Wisconsins maybe, or Kearsarge, that my aim is too far away or too low. I don't know, right? But since this shell is quite fast, obviously the lead time is much better than the Kearsarge or the Wisconsins. So actually we have one more salvo in this this Asturias, but we don't manage to hit anything for this salvo. Now I am actually trying to slow down as much as possible to get this my front gun against this Ismail, since he is actually quite broadside to us, right? And yeah, we just managed we look here, we just managed to miss that island, and we still have 4 shells going through Ismail, and one shell managed to find his citadel, which means he dead. No, I don't know where the Shiratsuyu is, but I see the torps, so I know that she is not really that close to me. So I decided to turn out like this. If I know the Shiratsuyu is close, I wouldn't do this. This is very risky, right? Because I'm showing my broadside though that that DD. Now this Flint is actually misplaying here a bit. She stayed in the smoke too long, and she is right now without any support, hiding in the smoke, while our Miyoko and me is flanking him from both sides. So this is actually a misplay. If you play a smoke cruiser or smoke DD, if you see your team start to leave, you need to leave even though your smoke is still still puffing or still there, right? Because otherwise, once that smoke dissipates, you won't have any backup and you won't have any escape route. Now you can see here the smoke is starting to dissipate, and we managed to scout the Flint. We shot somewhere in the front of his bow, and we managed to get 4 pens and 1 overpens, making us a Confederate, and that Miyoko finished the Flint off at 1000 something HP. Now, since this is a Japanese ship and not an American ship, we don't have Halsey, right? We don't have those Confederate buffs. Now in the next game, I think I will show you what happens when you get those Kraken buff. Your reload will be very good. Now, I still haven't decided whether I will show that game or maybe make it to another video. Maybe I make it another video, right? Because it will be too long, this video, if we have 2 games. So this game so maybe subscribe and you will see that video where I get Kraken with Yamamoto on this ship. And I played this today at about 6 times, 7 times, and I get Kraken 2 times. That's just goes to show that this ship is actually really powerful for tier 7, right? You can still deal with tier 8s well, you can still deal with tier 9 well, just that you need to be more passive because your armor is shit. So it's not the same as Amagi's armor. Now this Nagato is broadside on to us, and she is actually quite decent player, right? He is managed to get the Confederate here, if you see on the chat box, but we managed to get high caliber by shooting the Nagato. Now you can see there my Yudachi managed to shoot torps at the Nagato with very good predictions, and managed to clip the Nagato with 2 torpedoes. Yeah, 2 torpedoes. So that's good. Look at that dispersion from the front guns. That is very good. And these shells, bam, 12,000 damage on the back guns alone. And our Yudachi friend managed to finish off with the torpedo. That's just 6 guns at the back, bro. Those things are really good. There's a meme, right? Back third, best third. Yeah, that one proved that point, I guess. No, our team's Ashitaka, the other Ashitaka, is on very low health at 3000 HP, and we find this Fuso's broadside. Now I decided to shoot at this Fuso with a bit of too much lead, but we managed to get the citadel from the Fuso just because our dispersion is a bit wide. Now this Fuso is, I guess, burning and will die shortly. If you look at our damage, it's actually 180,000 damage with only 2 citadels. So that's just that's just how it is. If you play tier 7 battleship, you probably won't get many citadels, but you will have many pens, right? If we look at our pens, it's actually 41 penetration with 22 over penetration. So it's really damaging. That's why we only have 2 citadels, but we already have 187 damage. Now this is actually a really good result for, you know, a battleship, right? For a tier 7 battleship, because obviously the health of the enemy and the health of the ship is lower, so 187 damage is really really good for a tier 7 battleship. So that's why I'm saying that this ship is actually one of the best tier 7 battleship in the game. Okay, so if you manage, you want to get this, I don't think that it is sold in the premium shop currently. You only can get this from super containers and maybe loot boxes, maybe, I don't know, right? But I get those from a super container that I get from just daily missions, and I guess that's kind of lucky for me, right? To get this awesome ship for essentially free. No, we see that this we net us 500 credits. I'm not running credit booster. I'm just running the 20% gray booster. Sorry, the tier 1 boosters for credit. We have 5.6k with 700 free XP. We deal 188,000 damage. If we look at our team score, we managed to top the scoreboard at 2.1k base HP, while we managed Confederate and High Caliber. Our team actually, both of our Udachis plays really really great. General Offensive, Partisan Arms, and Combat Scout. So both of them play a really really massive win, while their DD is shit. If I'm trying to say it, simply, right? So yeah, that's the reason why DDs, German games, I guess. Now you can see here we take 53,000 damage, so it's still a squishy ship, but we managed to deal huge amounts of damage to many battleships, right? And also deal quite a bit of damage to that Akatsuki, actually 6,300 with like 5 or 6 overpens, I forgot. That is really really good. Okay, for credits, you can see here we managed 489,000 profit with 6,100 commander XP. Anyways, that is all for this video. Make sure to subscribe for more content on World of Warship and maybe Rimworld as well. If you watch my previous video, I play Rimworld. If you like Rimworld also, then make sure to watch that video. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time.